Venice, California, there are a lot of people on skateboards.
Oh yeah,
It's just a
lots.
skateboardy part of LA. And Otis was just sort of like, whatever, you know. I'm just, happy to be here. And then when I moved to a more eastern part of LA, I lived across the street from an elementary school, which was like, it was, it had fences around it. I mean, you couldn't just like walk into the school, but skateboarders would jump the fence on weekends and like do tricks, skateboardy stuff. And
Uh-huh.
over time, Otis just decided, I don't like this. And now, if someone's on a skateboard, even if we're in the car, like going the other direction, he'll be like,
Oh,
"Ah!"
wow.
He's so freaked out by skateboards. And I'm like, you did it to yourself, man. Remember? You used to be fine with this.
Something triggered. What
What's the
happened?
deal? Yeah, like no
Maybe there was
skateboarder
like
hurt you.
maybe there was like a stinky skateboarder. He's like, "Oh, that guy smelled." I don't know.
Something. Yeah, it got worse over time. And I feel like the fireworks thing is the same
Oh yeah.
sitch, where it's like, because he'll look at me and I'll be like, no big deal. I don't care. I'm watching TV.
Mm,
And he'll be like, no, something very bad is going to happen to us. And then, you know,
the world will end.
he's like, hold me. And also, can I sleep in the bed tonight? Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Let me get my iPad real quick. Coolio. Yeah, it's the 4th of July week. Happy short week, everybody.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh. Otis, don't even. It's like
It's
he's
also my wife's
attacking
birthday,
him.
so happy birthday, Srithia.
today?
Oh, happy
Today, yeah.
birthday,
Oh, happy birthday.
Sarithia.
Yep. So she turns
Yay.
29 again, I think.
That's always a
Yes.
good birthday. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna grab something too.
I know. We're like, let's grab stuff. Let's see here. When we get on the show, I'll show something silly. Whoa. Whoa.
And also, RCS is working on mine. It's been working since the day they clicked it.
You guys are both not so.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
just,
just put the beta, but I'll tell you guys that on the stream. What happened? All good?
yes, all is well. I just I went out to get something, and Ralphie the cat is sleeping on a plastic bag that I
Oh.
got some groceries with earlier today.
Well, yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Why not?
It's like
There
it's
must
like
be something smelly.
it's
on
hot
there. Like,
outside and inside. So like,
uh-huh.
what better than to sleep on a plastic bag?
Of course. Of
It's
course.
just never ending drama in this home.
Oh, I hear
It's
that.
all right. It's all right. Okay, so Eileen, I didn't actually add anything to our rundown
Okay.
because I
Do
feel
we
like,
need to?
well, no,
Is there
no. I
anything
mean,
pressing? Okay.
I think we're in pretty good shape.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing, no, actually, you
Yeah.
have that in there. Yeah,
Oh, I do. Okay. Because I was
yeah,
like, I don't know if I'm gonna see anything. I tried. I tried in the middle of
yeah.
hanging with the little man. Uh, it
Is
needs a lot of
do you feel
attention.
like
That guy.
Sev is an Apple or Android dog?
Good question. I don't think he's been exposed much to Android, so he's just,
He's like Apple. Apple. I
the only
like
thing
it.
he's looking at right now is the Nest Cam. He's like, "What is that?" That's looking at me because he's. I'll show
Oh,
you in
and
just
you
a
guys
sec.
are like, that's how we'll look at you when we
Oh
leave you
yeah,
alone at some
yeah.
point.
Let's see. Can you see? It's
Oh, buddy. Oh, I feel like he's so
hard
big
to.
already.
I know. I even, Tom and I were talking. I was like, "Did his tail get longer? What's going on?" So many things. Because if you look,
As you slowly move your cups further from the edge of the table.
oh, I have been taking things off because he's a jumper. He's jumping. He's doing all the things that a dog would do.
Yeah,
Stealing our shoes, jumping
counter
up on
surfing.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already gnawing the wood of of
Everything.
a bench. Yeah, gnawing like our sofa. I was like, okay, something's gonna die here. I know. So he's doing all the things. And then each time I'm like, but he's getting longer and longer every day. I've been trying to take a picture
At first,
every day.
I was like, "Oh, it's sort of he's a little dog," and now I'm like,
He was.
"Nah, not with those paws. He's growing."
He is, yeah, like this is today. Let me see if I can get it. Well, it's hard to not show him with, all his bits because he still has them all, But he is looking like a little man now.
Yeah.
He's like a little man now.
Oh, buddy. He really is. Oh my gosh. Well, I told you, I think it was last week or the week before, Eileen, I'm like, I feel like Sev looks like Otis. I mean, they don't have the same face, but
Right.
just that kind of like the ears, the kind of, white and caramel spots kind of stuff. He really, he reminds me of Odie.
Long, could be the cousin of Odie.
Perhaps. Yeah, you guys have to do an embark test and figure it out.
I think we are. Yeah, we definitely want to figure it out.
There are others. Embark was the only one that I used, but
yeah, that's the only one we use too, and I think it's the most accurate. But yeah, he's a little man. But anyway,
he's a little dude.
Yeah, he's. I've been trying to take a picture every day in the same spot, and it just doesn't always happen. So I'm just like, fine, just a picture every day, and you'll just see him expand from the one photo that we got when he was little, from the foster to now.
Right?
He's like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. It's just a matter of weeks. Anyway. Oh no, BioCow. Now at almost 5 months, he peed on our couch the other night. They regress though. That's what I hear. At that age in between, those young months, they train them, and then they have a moment of right.
Well, it's because they're still puppies, even though they've gotten bigger. So they're just like kids. They want to press their boundaries, and they want to have that command of their own destiny, if you will. So what happens is they perform really good, and then right as you start to relax, they'll start pressing the boundaries again, because now you're relaxing. So they think they can press the bounds. So it may not have been like, oh, I'm going to pee on the couch because ha ha ha. It might have been just, okay, things are relaxed. I don't have to worry about this so much. It's not
right.
And then of course you get back into the hardcore training again. They're like, oh yeah, this is why I don't do that. Yeah, got it. Okay. It's
never let up. Yeah. Never let up.
Yeah, my 10-year-old daughter was my best friend. My 11-year-old daughter is trying to become my worst enemy. It's the same as kids. She's finding
when it comes to
she's finding the loophole of every boundary.
Yeah, middle school girls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I take full responsibility for being that girl.
Yep. So that's
my poor father.
Kids and puppies. The whole nurturing versus naturing thing, it's the same. It's the whole parenting cycle. It comes and goes, different time frames, because you're dealing with a much shorter time frame with a dog, but the themes are still there, and they're still in the same.
It's the same themes, yeah.
It happens faster.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I'm deciding I'm not gonna listen to you right now.
Yeah,
I like the stick better. Sorry, I know what you're saying. I get it, but I'm not gonna listen.
I'm
you're
tired
like,
of the carrot, though. I'm tired of the carrot.
That's when I pick him up. I'm like, all right, you're going in, dude. You're done. You're going in. You're done. Yeah. It's like, what?
Too much
Why?
stick. You had your stick. You had your stick. You had your fun.
Anyway.
Yep.
All right.
Well, if you, Eileen and Amos, are ready, I am as well.
I am ready.
Well, you know the deal. When I disappear, start counting yourself in.
All right, will do. And I need to look at my Firefox. Okay, now I know where you are.
There we go. Okay, yeah, the brand tab on the side that does all the little stuff, it didn't pop up that time. So, okay.
Bye, Amos. He's still with us, but he's just he's just invisible. All right, let's do this in 3, 2. Welcome, everyone, to episode 22 of Apple Vision Show. I'm Sarah Lane.
And I'm Eileen Rivera.
Hi, Rivera. How you doing?
It's a short week for a lot of folks in the United States.
True.
4th of July week.
4th of July, right, smack in the middle of the week. Yeah.
And we are in the middle of summer. It is freaking hot where we live.
It is.
This is one of those moments where I'm like,
It
oh my
is.
gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. When it's so cold in the winter and you're just like, can we get to summer already? And then summer's here. You're like, wait a minute.
And it's funny
I forgot this is
because
bad.
So Eileen and I both live in Los Angeles. I mean, different areas, but the same idea, same general weather. And, people will say to me sometimes like, what, do you even wear like a coat in the winter? I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's not snowing. I know it could be way colder. I know that, but it's not warm all the time in the winter.
No.
I've got a little space heater that I have in my studio that I use during the winter months. And I because I've only lived in my apartment just over 6 months now. So I moved during the winter where I was like, okay, yeah, I mean,
not bad.
I'll work it out. But then, knowing the whole time, like, when I turn the AC on, let's see how this works. And I'm still trying to figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you still need a fan, right? You still need a fan in your room.
Well, I've got a fan, and I have
Yeah.
I have an AC unit that's in the next room from me, and it works. We're every morning, first thing I do, I get up, I look at the weather, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just gonna get hotter for a while before it gets colder.
Yeah.
All right.
For real.
I did this to myself. I knew what I was doing. So here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all right. I'm enjoying the summer. Drinking a lot of, icy drinks, a little mango green tea today. I'm loving that.
Just ice water, but still.
Yeah.
Very hydrating.
Keep hydrated. Keep hydrated. I know we're not the only ones across the country and the globe having, extreme heat, but hope everybody can stay hydrated and, power through these summer months.
Power
and
through
happy
these summer
4th
months.
Of July.
Yes. And yes, happy early 4th of July to all. Trying to think of if anything kind of weird and strange happened with any of my Apple devices over the last week. I did watch the new season of The Bear, which I'm a big fan of.
6 episodes in? Yeah, it's real good. I love this season.
Of season 3? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm like 6 episodes in. Yeah, or 6 or 7. I don't remember. We were just binging the last
10
days.
total, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it on the Vision Pro.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
did you feel like you could touch the food?
Kind of. Yeah.
You can really get in there.
So for anybody who's not familiar with the show, and I won't spoil anything, it's very, it's a restaurant kitchen food, and all of the stress that goes along with that type of show. And some people, friends of mine were like turned off at the beginning. They're like, I don't like that. It's too much yelling. Everyone's yelling.
Yeah.
Everyone's unhappy, and I'm like, oh, I love it. Chaos. I love it.
I love it too. Yeah.
Give me the chaos. But because of that, I don't know. It feels like an immersive show. It feels like the kind of show that you just sort of be like, all right, I'm going in. See you guys in a couple hours.
I feel like the only thing missing for you, because you've just immersed yourself, you focused putting on your Vision Pro, is the smell. like the smell of the food. Like if you could smell that, you probably like would be eating while you're watching, if you're not already eating while you're watching.
Well, and I've never actually eaten while wearing the Vision Pro. That's an interesting thing. I never really thought about that, but but yes,
Maybe give
yeah.
it a try.
Yeah, yeah, if because sometimes they're like, "Oh, don't you like taste the raspberries?" And I'm like, "Yes." Kind of in my mind.
The beef
Yeah.
sandwich, all that stuff. Like, oh man, that
Yeah.
sounds cool. So you were able to focus and just really immerse yourself. Did you feel like you were in Chicago?
um
Maybe not.
I don't know. I mean, I guess. I guess I've been to Chicago before.
Yeah.
So, when the train goes by and there are certain scenes and you see the river and everything. I'm like, "Oh yeah." I mean, it is very it's a show that is supposed to evoke a variety of senses. It's about food, but it's also about love and
Yeah.
happiness and unhappiness and all that stuff. And I really think the Vision Pro, I've said this before, is just so good for this kind of show.
Oh wow.
You could argue, well, if you like any show, wouldn't it be also a good show to watch this way? Maybe. But this felt right to me.
Okay. And they weren't even trying to cater to you. It just worked.
No.
Yeah.
I really don't think they were thinking of Sarah on the couch or actually on the floor, depending on
Or
how hot it is
Vision
that day.
Pro.
With her Vision Pro just being like, we're going to do snow peas.
Just for Sarah.
Just
Oh
for me.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if the price, like we talked about last week, if it comes down and we can all, have a more affordable version of the Vision Pro, maybe we can experience that too. That would be awesome.
Indeed. So speaking of our show last week, we did mention that Apple was apparently talking to Meta, obviously the parent company of Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, among other things, about integrating Meta AI into Apple intelligence. Sounds like that's not happening, Eileen.
The like kumbaya, thought that we had, the, everybody's going to work together in AI. Yeah. That was like, I feel like the news on that happened like, I don't know, later in the evening after we posted our show. It was like, oh, okay. I guess no holding of hands. We still got walls.
It also, right. And of course, we'll always do our best to keep everybody updated on, if we talk about something in a previous show and something changes, we will talk about that, which we're doing now. It never made a lot of sense to me. I don't think Apple needs Meta. And that is, that's saying something because a lot of companies would love Meta's AI capabilities, Meta's, data pool, all things Meta. Whatever you think about the company itself, they've got a lot of intel, and Apple just doesn't need them.
Yeah.
So there you go.
They're being really choosy, I think, in their efforts, and maybe just decide, even if there was conversations, maybe just decided, let's not go there. After all.
What is real news is RCS coming to iOS 18. Not every carrier is supporting it. And 9to5Mac it has a really good sort of walkthrough of how to check if your carrier has indeed enabled RCS support in iOS 18 or not. And, we won't go through all the stuff, but as you can imagine, it's in settings in general and about, and, tap on carrier and, see where you're at. But this is a great call. We talked about this last week on an episode of DTNS, and one of the things that was kind of struck me as interesting is Apple is supporting RCS, but not fully the way that you would support RCS in the way that an Android bubble would no longer be green. It will.
Right.
It is. It's sort of like semi-support in that way. And I, again, I've never owned any Android device that I can think of. Maybe a smart something in my home is Android based, but I've never had that kind of like blue green bubble situation where I'm on the green side. and it sounds to me, if I'm understanding how it's working correctly, it sounds to me that the RCS support from Apple is going to make things easier, but is not going to change the thing that people complain about the absolute most.
Yeah. I can't wait to try this. I haven't downloaded the beta yet for the phone, but last night, I've just been really busy. But last night I actually downloaded the beta for the iPad. So tonight I'll do that with the phone and test it with my brother-in-law, because I know he's the one with the Android phone. Or even I could just test it with my own Android phone to be honest with you, see how that works. But I am really excited to show you that I tried Math Notes.
Wow, 1 + 1 = 2. What in the heck?
First of all, I was working on the show notes last night, and it was late. I had to wait till Sev, my puppy, went to bed, and I was like, oh, let me download iPad OS finally. And then as I was like, what kind of calculate? Oh, I can't think. So let's just do 1 + 1, and it came up with 2 for me. So there you go,
love
everybody.
that.
It works. It works.
Like, what if you do like 2 × 7?
Okay, let me try it right now. This is live. 2 × 7 equals. Oh, and then you click. I can't really show this on the camera, but you click solve.
Yeah.
Boom. It happened. There we
what?
go.
That is crazy. I know that. I mean, for some people, they're like, 2 × 7. Couldn't you just do that in your head? Yes, but the whole point is that it does it for you.
Yes, we can come up with more, difficult equations, and not right now, but we'll try. But I was having fun with Math Notes. I was like, this is great. So anyway, I can't wait to download iOS 18 beta for the iPhone. I kind of was just like, oh, I remembered. Let me do something. And what should I do on the iPad? Math Notes. That was the first thing that I thought about doing.
I mean, hey, there are a lot of us either, we're either taking a math class, we've got a kid or a niece or nephew or cousin, whoever, also, in math class. And yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. It's cool that it's one of those things. I could tell probably where you were like 1 + 1. Oh my gosh, it's that too.
I know. At midnight, I'm like, this is amazing. I wish I could have this when I was a kid.
Right. People are like, what about calculators? No, the point is to be able to draw it, and it knows what you meant.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of calculators.
Speaking of calculators, real quick, before. Ooh, yes.
It actually exists on the iPad.
Before we move onto our next story, for anybody who's like, so RCS does what? I mean, there are a variety of things it does besides letting the iPhone person know that they're talking to an Android person because of colors. You have read receipts, typing indicators. If Eileen is using an Android device talking to me, I can see the typing indicator, which is, it's not that big a deal, but when you have it, you appreciate it. You know who you're talking to, and oh, they're about to send me something. I'm going to pay attention. Higher quality images, videos, and there are others. But anyway, it is a step forward for sure.
Yeah, and it's the basics, right, that we've been asking for, just so that we could see each other's messages and know that things have been read and received and things like that. So yay.
Yeah,
I cannot wait to try that. Try it this week.
Me too. Also, getting tried is the Apple Vision Pro in markets outside of the US. The headset now
What?
available to buy in China, Japan, Singapore, with other European countries on the way, rolling out to Germany, France, Australia, the UK, and also Canada, not in Europe, but Canada, America's at, on July 12th, with pre-orders now available. I don't know, Eileen, if you saw some of how the Apple Store employees will do this sort of like
Oh,
yay for the
yeah.
first person
Cheer.
who
Yeah.
who comes in. I
Uh-huh.
watched the one at I think it was I actually don't remember. I mean, it was in Tokyo. I don't remember exactly where the Apple Store is in Japan,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it was the first employee, and somebody actually on Twitter on X had said like, look at the crowds for the Vision Pro. So I watched the
Uh-huh.
video, and I'm like, well, I only really see like a crowd inside the store. That's all Apple
Okay.
employees. Not to
Yeah.
say that there wasn't a crowd outside of the store, but that wasn't really what the video was. But
Mhm.
it was quite a bit of fanfare.
Ooh,
And,
okay.
if you're the first person, of course, you get a lot of people just like high-fiving you and being
Yeah.
excited. But it did seem like there was some momentum there. And I
Yeah.
wonder in new markets and obviously, I mean, if you're a developer and you lived in Japan
Mm.
and really wanted to get your hands on a Vision Pro, you could have by now. But of
Mhm.
course, when it's just available at your nearest Apple store, it's a lot more convenient. It just makes more sense. And I do wonder how the temperature is going to change over the next few months.
Yeah.
Just having people in different markets being able to tinker around with this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's getting a jolt of energy again. And I was just thinking, I wonder what country's going to run away with like sort of the best innovation or the best use case, you know? I mean, all of them are going to have different regional needs. And so, not that it's a competition, it's more about let's discover
Hmm.
something and let's use this hopefully for the betterment of us all. But I'm curious, somebody's going to come out with something really cool and it doesn't have to be here in the United States, it could be elsewhere. So, it's fun to see people get really excited about something again, and
Agreed.
maybe
Yeah.
this is it. Maybe this is it. So if you're from another country outside of the US and you're getting one, please let us know what you think if you are able to, grab a headset and what you would use it for, if it's any different at all. Maybe it's not different. Maybe we're all going to come to the same conclusion. I have no idea that it needs this, that, or the other. But I love it when we can see how things sort of mm, I don't kind of change or kind of adapt per region. So we'll see what the Vision Pro in these countries what they get out of
Indeed.
it, right?
Indeed. And, going back to me talking about watching the latest season of The Bear on my Vision Pro and just being like, I'm just going to sit back with the fan on my face on the
Mhm.
couch and just, get into this. The Vision Pro is not the only VR headset you can do this with,
Mm.
but it does it very well. It is a great media consumption device, and I tell people that, and sometimes I get a blank stare where someone's like, "Oh, so do you not have a TV?" And I'm like, "No, I do." And
Do I not have a
I have a
TV?
couple of them actually, yeah, in different rooms, and it's sort of like, so why do I need this? And I'm like, you don't. I'm not going to tell anybody that you need this, but
Mhm.
it just works. It works really
Mhm.
well for media consumption. If you're like, you know what? I got 2 hours to kill and I'm going to go
Mhm.
into the rabbit hole.
Mhm.
I love that. What I feel like I struggle with is, what else do I love it for? Do I work
Mm.
wearing the Vision Pro? Not
Mm.
unless I'm testing something Vision Pro specific. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't need
Mm-hmm.
to. You know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at a monitor right now. I got a mic. You know, I'm good to go. It
Mm-hmm.
it would almost kind of get in my way. But
Yeah.
I think that yeah, the more people in the world who have the option to have something like this, and then give feedback to the rest of us about what works, what doesn't work, and developers getting new cool ideas, we might be having a very different conversation a year from now.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about how long it's been since the first iPhone and how that has, become, or just cell phones in general, become ingrained in our sort of society. Like, what is, in 15 years, this device going to be like is this going to be a go-to for a particular thing
Yeah.
for everyone? Like, I think it will be. And maybe it is just entertainment for now and productivity for some people. But as they get lighter, I just feel like it's going to be part of our society in some way, shape, or form. This is just the beginning. They're a little big, they're a little expensive, but perhaps they'll be
Yeah.
built
Little
in a
big,
way
very
that'll be more
expensive.
compact. Yeah, perhaps they'll be built in a way that'll be a little bit more compact and easy to carry around and less obtrusive. Like, I mean, it looks like you're either gonna go snowboarding, or you're really some like techie robotic person when you're walking around with them. It's very like shocking to see someone wear one, to be honest with you. But until it becomes smaller and lighter and a little bit less in your face,
Yeah.
which I think it's going to be. It's not going to be for everyone yet. So,
Well, yeah.
stay
Yeah.
tuned in another
Stay
10,
tuned.
15 years, maybe
But
quicker than 15, maybe 10, because, the rate of acceleration of technology these days, it could be
exactly. Yeah,
much
I
shorter
sometimes say like
time.
5 years, 10 years. I don't know. I
Hmm.
mean, we could,
Yeah.
6 months from now, we could be having a different conversation. But I besides my little test when I walked around my
Oh,
neighborhood
right.
wearing the Vision Pro, which again, nothing happened, nothing bad happened. I could see, but I mean, it definitely got some weird looks. And I've seen some videos online of people being like, "Let's go through the airport wearing it,"
Right.
like
Yeah.
what's gonna
Hmm.
happen type thing.
Hmm.
And besides that, I've never once seen anyone else in the
Yeah.
world wearing it. Now,
Yeah.
granted, I work from home. Maybe I don't get out as much as the next guy, but no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
I think the fever for getting out and about happened at launch, right? And maybe it'll
Yeah.
happen in all of now. Maybe the rest of the world that are getting the device, it'll happen there, right? In all of the different countries for a short burst of time, and then it'll calm down again until the next, sort of version of the Pro, right? So we might get a few more videos in some very scenic places around the globe with the Vision Pro, somebody eating outside, and you see what the Eiffel Tower or whatever behind you, or Tokyo Tower in Japan, they're going to do something cool with it. But, how long did that last, Sarah? That lasted like a couple weeks, like in the media
If
run,
that,
if
yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah. And so then, like, it kind of traveled socially, right? For a while, like, oh, look at these people doing their thing, as people started posting their videos. And then it started trailing off, I think, after like a
It really
month,
does.
max.
I think that, and this kind of leads into our next story about the Vision Pro getting Apple Intelligence going forward
Hmm.
in an update. I think that, but with a lot of not just Apple products, but let's just stick with Apple for the purposes of this conversation. The iPhone was sort of
Mm.
like, pretty cool. Head scratcher, though. Is it going to, disrupt the industry? Clearly it did.
Hmm.
But it didn't do that on day one. Apple Watch, another good example of like, interesting. Apple obviously put a lot of work into this. Who wants this? Who's going to wear this? Well, I mean, to this day, many people do. Not everybody, but it has become its own ecosystem that flourished over time.
Hmm.
The Vision Pro, I think, another example of like, who's this for? What is this disrupting? Do I need to watch the bear lying on my back on the couch with a Vision Pro that's
I
like
mean, Sarah said
$3,500? And the answer is no, you don't need to. But there's going to be that one killer, I don't want to say killer app, but just like killer experience where people go, oh, okay, I got it. And the reason I say this is because I'm a VR nerd, and over on the Meta Quest side of things, that killer app, because I was testing out the original Quest, the Quest 1, back in 2020. And it was a workout game, Supernatural, which I still use to this day. And I was like, this is fun. This is awesome. And like, I didn't even really care that like half the time my eyes hurt a little bit using it.
Okay.
Like the visuals weren't perfect, but they were good enough, and it just was so fun and just active, and I loved it. And I've never stopped talking about this since, where I'm like, it was just, that was the thing. I tried a lot of other apps, I played around with other stuff where I was like, oh, kind of cool, but like I probably just won't ever open this app again.
Yeah.
And then I found the one where I was like, oh, okay, I got you. To this day, I mean, it's great. It's wonderful. I wish the Vision Pro would bring Fitness Plus to the system, and then we got a party. But yes, it just takes that one app, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, okay, all right, I've got it, and I couldn't do this otherwise anywhere else, and so. That's where you get the winner.
Well, maybe it is AI then, right, Sarah?
Maybe it is. Yeah, the Vision Pro getting Apple Intelligence, I suppose. And again, this is not something that I've been able to personally try, so I don't know for sure, but it feels like something that will make you want to have the headset on longer. So, the example that I just explained of, a workout thing on the Meta Quest, I mean, that's like maybe 30 minutes of my life kind of thing. This is not something I'm wearing all day. This is like, put it on, do your thing, take it off, go on with your life.
Right.
I feel like the Vision Pro is at least what Apple designed it to be initially is, this is something that is just your daily companion. You wear it. And that's why so many people being like, well, it hurt my head. Like, it's too heavy. It's, I don't like the battery. Like there are all these things where it's like, if it was sort of like a, put it on, have some fun, and then, go live your life, that would be different. Apple wanted it to be a, daily thing. This is how you can, have, big monitors that you don't have at home, for example, or be able to, do work on a plane or in a space that's more confined, which is all true, but it doesn't feel like an all-day companion to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Maybe if I lived at the bottom of a well, I would be like, yay, I've got the Vision Pro. But otherwise, I'm like, I have other options. But maybe my point, and I do have one, is maybe Apple Intelligence will make that more of a, this is your, not like a killer app thing, but like killer companion.
It was strange that it wasn't a part of the keynote at WWDC, mentioning a connection at the very least. So I was like, well, aren't they just trying to infuse it in all of Apple OS, like any OS? But the go deeper option that's going to be in stores. Oh, actually, Sarah, somebody wanted to know if you're planning on running the beta on the Vision Pro at all. If
Yeah.
you're not now, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yes. Yes.
yeah.
Give me beta, I will roar. Yes. Always.
So I guess this is just kind of, going back on the disappointment and being like, oh no, wait a minute. We are going to run Apple Intelligence deeper in a different way. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work, but it will not be left behind, I guess, is what we're trying to report here, is that there will be a connection, and maybe Sarah will be the first one to tell us how that works.
Well, someone else out there, and I know you are, do send us some feedback at applevisionshow.com. That would be a great way for us to compare some notes.
Yes.
For sure. But yeah, I really, I don't know. I feel like the AI revolution it's easy to be sort of like, "Oh, okay, we get it. So much AI news. Like, isn't everyone tired of talking about this?" It's not so much that the AI is inherently news itself. It's more that it's just going to change the way that we do tasks. The way that, sort of like the way that you did 1 + 1 is 2.
Exactly.
On the iPad, it's not like, did you not know that before? No, you did. But just the fact that can be achieved in a different way. And, it's, I don't know. I have these conversations and sometimes arguments with people all the time, where it's like, but how is this really helping us? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I think we're all just in a playground right now, experimenting. And
Yeah.
some people say, it totally helped me. Look at this wonderful resume I just wrote for myself. I didn't even do anything. And other people are like, but couldn't you just do that yourself? All of that stuff. I don't think Apple Intelligence is going to change the game all that much from what we're already having a conversation about. But the more the merrier, I say, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think of Apple Intelligence as a coach, like a side coach that will help you perhaps get you across the finish line just a tad bit faster, or any AI, not just Apple Intelligence. I'm at least that's what I'd like to think of it as, something that will help me do something just a bit faster. Maybe you have a foggy brain and you just can't remember all the ingredients to something right now. It's like, oh, but I could just ask real quick. And that's talking to my device could be, if it happens, as precisely as they say it would, could happen faster than me doing a Google search and clicking on a link and trying to find and scrolling, right? Instead, it's like I would like the recipe to blah, boom. Hopefully it's there. Or it's like even in your archives, but having those extra double steps of tapping to get to the further down in your application to find that. Like I have Notion, right? And I have a recipe. I have like a section for food, but I have to get to it from the home screen to my Notion into, it's like triple steps, right? I mean, I guess I could have like a shortcut to it, but apart from doing that, maybe it could like just pop it up in sort of like a notification really quickly, like, this was your recipe. Oh, thank you so much. Now I don't need to go click. That saves you some time, and over time you've saved some time, right? So
Totally,
it's like a little coach is what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of this seems like, well, I mean, how much time is it really saving you? Or did you really not need to use your brain, for that, small task? It's like, well, over the course of a day, a week, a month, a year, it does matter. I mean, I don't have a personal assistant. I would love one, but
there you
but
go.
I don't. And I know a lot of people who do, because they're just in situations where, you know, they can afford it, financially and otherwise. And, you know, there's a lot to be said about people helping people. So
Yeah.
this idea of AI helping people, I think some of us, especially because I'm like, well, I can't hire a personal assistant. I mean, where would they go? I don't have
Yeah.
any money. You know, like you kind of want to like prove that you don't need it, and maybe you don't. We're all different, but I think we're all going to be better off in the long run with Apple Intelligence and all the other AI platforms that we're now dealing with, who are all fighting with each other, and not everyone's going to survive. But I think it's safe to say that Apple Intelligence will be around for a while.
I have a feeling.
How
I have
great
a
it is
feeling.
compared to others, you know, yet to be seen. But it's Apple after all, so you know we're definitely gonna be able to try this out. And yeah, I think I was in the car yesterday barking at Siri about this or that, and you know, I don't even remember what it was anymore. I think they like played the wrong song when I asked for a certain song, but you know, I was sort of like, this just needs to get better, and that's the whole idea behind Apple Intelligence.
Does anybody think we're too we're too positive about this? Let us know in feedback.
Yeah, honestly,
You
yeah. I
know,
mean, if we need to walk it back a little bit, you know, we can take it. Let us know. Let
yeah,
us
let
know.
us know. I mean, I just want to think of the better. There's too much negativity in the world, so I hope that, you know, it is something that's going to help us, but let us know. I'm sure there's some of you that are doom and gloom out there. You know, there is a debate whether or not it's being used properly, and there's obviously there's anything could be used in a nefarious way, but in the overall grand scheme of things, what do you think? And if we need to think harder about why it's not good, let us know. I'd love to hear. I'd love to
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
the opposite opinion on this.
Indeed, yeah. If we get 5 of your responses, I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. We'll read them.
We'll read them.
We'll discuss them in a way that hopefully is helpful to all. All right. Well, speaking of being helpful, let's help ourselves and take a short break. We're back, Eileen, and
We are.
we want to talk about some rumors.
Let's
Look at
talk
all these
rumors.
rumors. Me every day.
Every day. Lots of rumors.
Lots
Everybody
can't
loves
take it anymore.
everybody loves a good rumor.
Yeah. So the first one, AirPods with cameras. Okay, so this rumor has been sort of banging around for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that I initially, when I heard the rumor, I misunderstood what the deal was because, and again, this goes back to Daily Tech News Show. This was a rumor of AirPods with cameras, and the rumor at the time was the AirPods themselves, you know, put them in your ears, you know, go
Yeah.
about your business, and the AirPods would be looking at things around you and able to give you context. And then I was like, well, okay, maybe cool, not sure. I like my AirPods, but okay. But if the AirPods could have cameras that then could be attached to something that you're wearing, like eyeglasses wise, so that the eyeglasses themselves didn't have to have cameras or look kind of a little weird, you know, that kind of thing, then we're talking. Because people will, if you're wearing AirPods, like, I don't care how silly they look. Well, I kind of care. But I mean, we're used to it at this point.
Yeah.
You're wearing them, sure. You're listening to things, you're doing, you know, podcasts, whatever, music, and they just stuff in your ears doesn't seem like a big deal. For some reason, at least to me, having, I wish I had my Ray-Bans here. I don't, right, at the ready, but anything that like makes my eyeglasses bulkier, slightly weirder looking, or otherwise
Yeah.
just
You
not
don't want
like
to do that.
super
Yeah.
comfortable, it's a tough sell. And we're still, I mean, there are so many companies all the time. We hear about like, ooh, new company has these like smart glasses, and nothing has really been that, again, to go back to, the colloquialism, killer app. It's like if you can maybe have sunglasses, eyeglasses, whatever, that take advantage of the the cameras in AirPods that you're going to be wearing anyway. For example, I was in the grocery store yesterday wearing my AirPods.
Yeah.
And and listening to a podcast. It was a great episode of Radiolab. And I wasn't wearing sunglasses, but if I would be able to and have some sort of an AR experience without having to have special glasses. Well, I guess the glasses do have to be special in some way, because they would have to pair to the AirPods. But I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself here. But
Yeah.
it takes the pressure off of the glasses themselves to be like perfect, because they would be drawing from something else. Kind of the way that, I don't know, I mean, the way that my Apple Watch is perfect in many ways, but if I don't have it paired to my phone, it's only 50%
Yeah.
as good as it could be, type thing.
Right. I guess I didn't quite understand the camera situation here too. You're thinking that it would have to be paired with another device, or could we just have the AirPods with cameras and look up and say, what kind of flower is this? Right. And then they could tell us what it is by looking at
No,
like
I
our thing
think
in front of us.
I think you're, I mean, again, it's kind of like a, a little bit of like a shrug situation. I think that could be what it is. But it feels like you would be missing out on so much context if you couldn't see that thing right then and there,
Oh! If I like just by hear, because I was thinking I would just get the information audio, via
Audibly.
audio, like
Yeah.
yeah, like this
Okay.
is a lily of the valley. That's blah blah blah. Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you were to, right. Okay, so let's say you're going on a walk, you got your dog with you, you see some flowers, they're real pretty, and yeah, you say like, "Hey, what's this flower? Please
Yeah.
save it to my notes or whatever."
Yeah.
Maybe that's good enough. It would be cool if you could have like a layer on
Yeah.
if the glasses that you might be wearing,
Yeah.
that would show you, where the flower originated, and just kind of other stuff that currently does exist in a variety of plant apps, of which I have downloaded many.
With your phone, yeah. What is this? Is this toxic to dogs? That's one that
Oh my
I'm
gosh!
always
I mean,
asking.
all day, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Ralphie the cat, he chomped on one of a new calathea plant that I got recently, and like my first thing was like in a panic, is this toxic? Which it isn't, although
Okay.
he's still in the doghouse about that. But Ralphie the cat
That's another part.
yeah, that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so AirPods with cameras. Okay, let's talk about the idea of, sure, you see a flower that might be interesting, tell me about it, type thing. Or save it to, some sort of, that all makes sense. I think having a glasses layer, or at least a layer where you can use your phone but not use your phone's camera, so you can just more casually kind of have it to to look at, the AirPods being the way that you're seeing the world. Interesting. I can't imagine AirPods being able to achieve this and not be bulkier. and I wouldn't want anything bulkier in my ears. But you know, we you know, things get smaller all the time.
Yeah, they do. The things that they're able to compact in the devices these days, you know how like we're just getting thinner and thinner devices, right? Like
Yeah.
we were talking about that a couple weeks ago. The every single device, how thin can they go? So how small can these go? You know, Beats. We're talking about Beats last week and how they're getting smaller. But you're right. Adding a little, you know, camera, like, does it make it go a little bit, a few more millimeters wider or
Well,
something?
and that's also going to affect battery life. And I've got my AirPods with me now. I've got this whole way that I do things in the morning where I get up, I sit here, charge my watch because my watch is almost out of batteries because I wear it at night. And then watch is charged within an hour, and then I charge my AirPods, and I've never run out of battery on my AirPods because I just charge them regularly.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
also don't use them in the house. I some people do. But I just don't ever wear anything but my trusty podcast headphones in the house. So when I go out with them, they're always charged. Add some cameras, well, that might be a different situation. I can just tell that Eileen is like sweating because she can hear Seven barking.
I just want to close my door. But no, I did want to say that Amos in our chat was just talking about, oh my gosh, the last thing we need is for creepos to have another way to take pictures without anybody knowing. And I was thinking about that, you know, tangentially, like having that and, you know, having cameras available, the tiniest of your ear, and you just don't know it. And you're having a conversation with someone, or they're just taking, I don't know. I mean, we have our phones so we could take pictures of people too, although that's a little bit easier to see. But yeah, I mean, those are not, I'm not going to say that I hadn't thought about it. I'm going to close my door real quick.
Yeah, close your door. Yeah, I think that not to say that people don't act inappropriately with any sort of recording equipment, because they do. I don't think this would make somebody who was going to do this anyway any more, you know, nefarious.
Right.
And again, like you said, Eileen, it's like, I don't have my phone in front of me for I don't even know what reason right now. But if I were to, you know, be clandestine and want to record you, I could do it. I mean, maybe I wouldn't do it like perfect, but I could do it. So the way of doing it, I don't think is the issue. The issue would be like, well, why are you recording Eileen without her knowledge? That's the question.
Right.
So yeah, maybe I'm naive, but I don't know that this would make anything worse. If somebody has the inclination, I think that they'll do what they want to do.
Always did. Yeah. They would have used something else, even the same
Yeah.
size, just not
Right.
necessarily an AirPod. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bad people out there. They're always out
Oh
there.
yes, the people. Yeah, you don't record other people without their knowledge.
Please
but,
don't.
You know,
Please don't.
I mean, we're asking nicely. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you in advance. I love thank you in advance, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like it can be such a passive aggressive way to thank somebody, you know, because it's like, Eileen, I would like you to give me $100. Thank you in advance.
Thank you in advance.
Right, where you're like, I didn't do it yet. You
I'm not
shouldn't be
going
thanking
to.
me. And now,
Don't
yeah, like I'm not going
Presume. Yeah. Don't presume that I'm going to.
Yeah.
Thank you in advance.
Although I will say, especially like in corporate spheres, I have definitely like written a well thought out email, you know, where, you know, with action items for people and signed off like, thank you in advance, Sarah. And I know like when I write it, I'm like, oh God, but it's like,
Yeah.
now I'm going to hold your feet to the fire if you don't do it. because I already thanked you in advance for doing this thing.
True.
Yeah.
I've done thank you for your consideration. Like hoping that they have thought that this was something to consider. You know what I mean? Like you're going to consider it, right? Thank you for considering.
Yes.
Because you are going to consider.
Thank you
You're
for
not
using your
not.
brain to think about this thing that I presented to you.
Exactly. You better, and yeah, it's another way of you like, you better read this. Oh man. Thank you for your consideration, everybody.
Thank you. And in advance as well. Thank you for your consideration in advance.
And in advance.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. It's like
Thank
I
you for
could
your
just put
consideration
thoughts
in
in your head is what I'm doing at that point. Yes. Yeah. You are going to pay me that $100. You've considered it, and I've already thanked you. So it needs to happen at 9 p.m. Eastern
thank
time.
you.
As we're wrapping up the show here, some good news for those who are interested in right to repair laws. Apple is apparently developing a new and improved way to make its batteries easier to replace. Now, I have never replaced my own iPhone battery, Eileen.
Same.
First of all, it's hard to do. Apple doesn't want you to do this. And as I've watched a variety of iFixit reviews and just in general kind of know what the iPhone looks like when you take it apart, and various components. I'm not much of a tinkerer hardware-wise. I'm just always worried I'm going to make it worse. But if you are, or if you are a official Apple store or retailer or a place where you would get things fixed, this should make it that much easier for a variety of people to not have to make an appointment and go back to the Apple store or, or potentially pay a premium when a third-party reseller might give you a nice discount. So
right.
I'm down with it.
Yeah, I think that's cool. It's funny in this article here that we have from 9 to 5 Mac. Apple still recommends that you visit a professional because you're not the professional, even though we may give you the cues and the makings to make it easier. You still might want to see a professional in case you mess it up. We're not going to take any liability for it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, we'll give you the ability, but if you mess it up, that's on your accord. But we do recommend go to the store. It's like, all right, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you want to tinker, you're going to do it anyway. For Apple to be at least somewhat more on board about this, I think it is a good thing. And accidents happen. My current iPhone has no cracks in it, which is insanity because I have broken every iPhone I've had since 2007. Repeatedly.
I don't know how you've done it, man.
Yeah.
With no case too. It's like,
because I don't use a case. And people say, well, use a case and then this wouldn't happen as much. And I'm like, no, I just need to be more careful because I don't like cases. And you know how that ends. But this, swapping out the battery, different situation altogether. But battery degradation happens. It happens on all devices. I've kind of got a situation with my MacBook Air right now where if I, charge it overnight and start using it first thing in the morning, I'm good for a couple of hours. And then it kind of goes from it's like 100 to 0, like real quick.
Whoa.
Yeah. It just drops. The bottom drops out. And then I have other machines, so I'm fine. But I was like, didn't used to do this. It's a battery thing. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Somebody should probably look at it. And again, not an iPhone, but the more we have folks being able to get their hands on the stuff and be able to fix, swap, strategize, troubleshoot, all the things. I think that's the right call.
It'll help you survive the zombie apocalypse, everybody. There you go.
Yeah.
You have to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Learn it.
Yeah. I can't believe I didn't mention that. The zombie apocalypse, which is right around the corner. You thought it was 4th of July? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Something else. Yes, we need batteries. So this will help you. Faux show. All right, so Eileen, let's talk about what you are watching on Apple TV Plus.
Sarah, I started Presumed Innocent. Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal. I did it. I did it. I'm caught up. I'm waiting for the next episode, which is in a couple days. I mean, listen, my friends, I've never gotten more response. I just put it on Instagram stories the other night that I'm like watching it. And I had like a bunch of people, is it good? Is it good? I'm like, oh, wait, I just watched one episode. And then it just prompted me to watch more. And now I'm caught up. And I don't remember the movie. I think I saw it back in the day. It's based off the Harrison Ford movie, like we talked about last week.
Same.
But I don't remember anything.
Him, but I don't really remember like the plot.
So I don't want to know. I'm not going to go watch it. In fact, my friend, because I posted that, she's like, "Oh, I went ahead and watched the movie. Is it the same as the movie?" I'm like, "I don't remember the movie, dude. Good for you. You went and watched that old movie. I don't remember." She's like, "I'm not going to watch the show, but I went ahead and watched Harrison Ford again." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Yeah. It's very good. It's a very good thriller. Nothing has surprised me yet, but it's solid. It's solid, and the acting is really good. So I do recommend it if you're just into a crime story. It's very well done. Is it going to stick the landing? I've yet to see. There's a week to week.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for it. I'm very critical. So we'll see. But, again, I like all the actors in it. I like the way the story's unfolding, and I don't remember what's going on in the original story. So I'm in it. Please don't spoil it for me. So that's what I'm watching. I also caught up with House of the Dragon. Oh, I didn't see Sunday night's show. And I haven't either. What am I? Oh, and The Bear, like we talked about. And those are the shows that I'm currently watching right now. Presumed Innocent made it in the cut because I was just curious. I'm like, all right, Jake,
I mean,
what you got, Jake?
I'm a big Jake fan. Just as in Roadhouse, I take it or leave it, but in general, I think he's a great actor. I like him, and yet I haven't started this probably because, and this is always the best. Crippled by choice that I want to have is I've got The Bear, which I just binged, last weekend. Like, I mean, I don't even know if I drank water or slept. I just watched it and, thank you, Apple Vision Pro. And, and then, House of the Dragon, obviously, and a variety of, other shows that I watch. But I haven't gotten into Presumed Innocent yet, but Heather Frank, who's my co-host over on Have Such a Good Day, also echoed your sentiment, like, good show, into it. And she was like, it's so annoying the way that they roll them out slowly.
It is a little annoying. Which I thought was funny
because I'm like, not every show is going to give you like a season dump in one. Not even Netflix does that all the time, but that's something that Netflix sort of, made to be the norm. And but yeah, like, she liked it. The point is, she likes it, and she was like, I just want more. I want more.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I think now that I have to wait week to week, it's really good if you can just watch like multiple episodes in a row. I go back and forth of like, do I like the binge or do I want the week to week? It depends. It depends on the show, I think.
I think the week to week, if you want to be, and I don't know, I mean, this is very personal, like, to me, but like, if you want to talk to people online or in person.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
how many people are we talking to in person these days? Like
I don't really talk to many
talking
people.
to people, it's a water cooler type thing. Like it
Yeah.
keeps that feeling of like, did you see that last night? OMG. And we all watched it at the same time, or maybe even not, but at least probably, on the same day. And then, there's anticipation and, and everything else. The whole binging at once thing is, again, like with a show like The Bear, I'm like, it's candy. I can't stop. And
Yeah.
no one's stopping me. So what does it matter? But I also, like, when it was over, I was like, why didn't I just savor this a little bit more?
Yeah.
Just a
Sometimes
little
I
more.
ration. Sometimes I ration.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't want to watch the last 2 episodes because then it's over.
Right.
But then I really want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know why I
Yeah.
feel that way, but I ration sometimes. I was trying to figure out what crime drama series or mini series that I really enjoyed that surprised me, or that was just fun to watch and that I couldn't stop watching. And it was called The Undoing with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. I love that one. And
I think I started it and I didn't finish. I should
you
go
didn't?
back.
I really enjoyed that
Yeah.
one.
heard it
And
was
I don't
good.
know. I mean, it came out, during the pandemic. And so I was kind of just into it and like, wow, I don't normally watch crime stories. I never watch like police series or anything like that. I usually watch medical stuff, believe it or not. But for some reason, this one hooked me. And that's one that I go back to all the time is like, oh, this one was surprising. And yet not surprising, but just well done. And then
Yeah.
well acted. And so that's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping for with Presumed Innocent and Jake Gyllenhaal. He's doing great. I think he's doing a great job with the show. Like I see him, but I don't see him. I see his character. I'm like, you the one you cheated on your wife, man. It's your fault, man.
Yeah. But did
And
he
you got
kill
kids.
her?
Did he kill her? I don't know.
Or
People think
the
it is-
other, yeah.
Well, no, killed
This is
the mistress. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
These aren't spoilers, by the way. You would know
No.
this in the first 5 seconds of watching the show.
Right.
What's going on? But I'm into Jake. I'm in.
He's aging good too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a scene where he has to take his shirt off. I won't say anymore. And it's not even a sexy scene. It's just he's taking his shirt off. And I'm like, well, of course they had to do that.
Well, yeah. Ever seen
Yeah.
Roadhouse? My God.
I did not see Roadhouse.
Listen, I know it was a popular movie with some folks. I didn't think it was horrible, but I was just like, okay, Jake Gyllenhaal, we get it. You are fit. We get it.
He really is.
Remind us again. Oh, yep. Still very fit.
Very
Good
fit.
work in
Good
the
job.
gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good job to everybody for staying with us for this episode. Reminder, we love your feedback. Continue to send that our way. Feedback at applevisionshow.com. We are on Instagram and TikTok. Eileen, where can they find us there?
Oh, Apple Vision Show. Please find us there and like and follow and, play along.
Yeah.
I'll probably have more posts this week. Yay.
Good stuff. All right. Well, we'll be back doing it all again next week. But for now, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. Episode 22 in ZCan. And we'll see you next week. Thanks so much.
I was going to say, I think we forgot the lead in for the Jake Gyllenhaal stuff. The Apple TV continues to grow in the US, overtaking Paramount.
Oh,
I was
we
like,
did.
wow. I was like,
Did.
oh, and you know what?
actually,
You know what?
I meant to, and I got all into Jake's
Oh,
abs. And
I know.
it
I'm
went
sorry.
crazy.
I'm sorry. I distracted you with Jake's abs. The thing about the story, honestly, I was surprised how high Amazon Prime Video is in the survey. It's ranked number 1 in front of Netflix, even though they're both 22%. But I guess there must be some other calculation there that puts Amazon Prime in front of Netflix. And I'm like, I don't watch Amazon Prime. I watch a couple of Korean things right now on Amazon Prime, but there's nothing else I watch on that. Do you watch Amazon Prime at all? Like, are there any shows?
I watched the Kendrick Lamar concert
Okay.
that was Amazon Prime. But like
Yeah.
that was, I mean, I didn't even know
It's a
that was
special.
happening. And then
Yeah.
a friend of mine, like right at the beginning, was like, "Sarah,
Oh
what
my
do you
God.
think?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
yeah, So I did watch that, and
Mhm.
I could. It was fine. I
Yeah.
watched it sitting here at this computer, but no, I don't. I don't watch
Yeah.
Amazon Prime all that much. I feel like it's like every so often there's a sporting event or
Mm.
something where I'm like, okay, well, this is how I watch it. But
Mhm.
I it's not a go-to place
Yeah, like
the
there's
way that
no
something like
shows.
Netflix is or even Apple
Yeah.
TV Plus at this point.
Exactly. I feel like there are more shows, but clearly people are on Amazon Prime Video now. I don't know if that's because, you've got Amazon Prime already. So, okay. Well, I'm just because there's a lot of shows that you could find on Amazon Prime or movies that are also on Netflix, right? So, if you already have Amazon Prime as a service, perhaps that's why it's ranked so high up there because I could be wrong, but I don't see there to be a flagship show on Amazon. Somebody's going to be like, "No, how could you not know that on Amazon Prime is this show?" I can't think of a show. There was the Lord of the Rings show, which I didn't really like.
Oh, that's true. There was that, and I can't remember the name of it because I didn't watch it, which is insane. But just goes to show you that you can't watch everything. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
That was
had
Rings
some
of Power, right?
Rings of
yeah,
Power. There you go.
Ring
Yeah,
of Power, Rings of Power, Ring of
Ring
Power.
Ring of Power.
I don't know.
Yeah, you see, we don't
Sure.
even know.
Yeah.
But but I'm
Amos
saying
and
like
I
there's
gave you the
the
95%. I can't give you the
okay, you know what? Sorry, I take it back. The Boys is I'm watching The Boys. I forgot about that. The
Oh, The
Boys is pretty
Boys.
big.
People love The Boys.
I like that show too. I've already forgotten it though. That's bad. Like I mean I'm watching I'm like 2 episodes in of the latest season. But apart from The Boys then I see a lot of movies that are ranking like or like the Celine Dion documentary, Oppenheimer. Like these are movies. They're not shows. Do you know what I mean?
Correct.
So there's a lot of movies on here. So perhaps that's what a lot of people are watching. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff on here, but I can find some of this stuff on other, platforms. Like you could also watch some of these movies on Apple TV if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
that's
I
I was like,
It's funny that you say that it's easy to forget like, oh, I like that show, but what happened on the
yeah.
show? So going back to the bear, Jeremy Allen White, who plays
Mhm.
the protagonist.
Mm.
I'm crushing on him big time, but I'm like, I don't really know if like, I mean, I'm physically attracted to him, but like, I like him. And my friend was like, I mean, I loved him since Shameless, and I was like, what is Shameless? And I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, I
Oh
watched
yeah.
this. I
Oh, you
watched
did.
this.
You watched the series. You watched the whole
Yes,
thing.
yes. I just kind of,
Forgot.
and it's not. It says nothing about the fact that the series wasn't good. That's not what I'm saying. It's more of just. I think as consumers, sometimes certain things resonate with us and other things are great. And we're like, that was so great. And then you just never think about it again.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
a medical drama.
Mm,
Maybe it was
mhm.
maybe it was a really, really good one.
Yeah.
You just kind of go like, all right, well, it's in the vault somewhere.
Yeah. It's like everything else I experienced that was part of my life for that moment in time, and I don't need it anymore. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. How could I forget The Boys? Sorry, guys. I can't think of a series. Whoops. I still don't see. Is it Ring of Power? I want to look it up now. But
Right.
Rings of Power. I just
Ring of Power.
halfway through that show, I stopped watching, and Tom really liked it. And then every once in a while, he'd like,
Rings.
"Oh,
plural.
okay, Rings." He'd come.
Plural.
He'd like, I'm sitting on the couch watching it with him, and he would say something. I'm like, I would just nod as if I was like understanding. And then after a while, I said to him, I'm not really watching. I'm just agreeing with you, right? He's like, oh, okay. Just did not like the show.
I mean, that's marriage. Yeah, that's
Fallout.
lovely.
The Fallout series, I believe, was on Amazon Prime.
Fallout.
Yep.
Who's in that? Fallout. Here we go. I see it right here. Number 7. Okay. Oh, based on the video game. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh yeah, people do like the show. I haven't watched
Okay.
it.
It's an amazing show.
Oh, it is? Okay. There's the Anne Hathaway movie, The Idea of You, that got some buzz because she's, older woman dating a younger man.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she was naked or something.
Oh,
Because you were like,
I'm sure.
getting some buzz because, yeah. I mean, okay, it's fine. Be naked or not, all good. No judgment from me.
I mean, it could have happened in the movie. I haven't seen it, but
Jack Ryan, the show with John
with
Krasinski.
the Krasinski. Yeah, I meant to watch that. Didn't watch it.
Oh.
See how this
See?
is like.
Yep.
Yeah. See,
This is a normal conversation. Oh, right, that show I meant to watch. Oh, Upload.
this is,
Did you guys ever see Upload?
again, it's an
Yep,
embarrassment of
Upload.
riches.
Yeah.
We have shows that we need to watch that are
My wife and I
good.
watched season 1 of Upload and loved it, and we just never made it through season 2. And now there's a season 3. I don't know why we fell off. It didn't.
See, you just
Didn't
fall off. Like things happen. You know what? If they don't come out every year, there was like the writer's strike, there was an interruption, COVID, blah, blah, blah. Then you kind of just get out of your habit of like remembering it. Like that's kind of how I feel with The Boys a little bit. Like I'm like, what happened last time? It's been several years, whereas the new show, you're like, oh, this is all new. I don't know anything.
Before House of the Dragon season 2 started, I loved season 1 because dragons, all things dragon. And at the same time, I was like, I had to go to the wiki and like look at the synopses of all the episodes because I really couldn't remember what happened. I kind of knew who I was rooting for, but I'm like, I don't remember why they were fighting.
Yeah. Why were they fighting?
I needed a refresher.
Clarity. Yeah.
Yeah.
If ever
I
there
mean,
was a
that
time
show in particular, you kind of,
Yeah.
you get a pass because everyone has like the same name and
Targaryen.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
And I
sort of-
feel like, I don't know, with House of the Dragon, I like it. I think it's a really good show. I just am like, oh, but we know how it ends. Right? We know how they just destroy each other. And I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I know.
All the
It's a
dragons are
prequel
gonna
to something
die.
that we already also saw.
I'm so sorry to tell you all that the dragons are all going to die. We know this.
And
I'm more concerned about the dragons than the people.
It's like, why do I do this to myself? I can't.
I know.
Well,
I'm
because
like,
all the people die too.
yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah, well, they suck. So.
you're not
Yeah,
watching
they
it for
do
the people,
suck.
You're watching it for the dragons. It's the
awful.
dragons dying that gets you. Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
dragons. You know what?
Yeah.
I just, give me a dragon. Otis is not a dragon, but
Okay.
he's I call him Senior Dragonfoot. He's the closest dragon I've got. And eventually we'll get him wings and he'll learn to fly. But until then, I like dragon shows.
Yeah.
All things dragon.
They're good.
They are
Yeah.
good.
I rooted for Khaleesi's dragons. And then when
Totally.
some of them went, I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not okay with this. I'm
No,
not okay
no.
with that.
And a lot of people,
I don't-
I swear they won't say this, but a lot of people who are like, well, that last season sucked. I'm like, it's because they killed that dragon.
Yeah. It's why.
And,
That's why.
and you turned on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least there was one.
Right.
And then he just bolted alone now.
he's still
but-
out there, Eileen.
I know.
Old Drogon.
Yeah, I think he's out
Still
there
out
and he's
there.
trying to find some way to resurrect her.
That's
I
right.
think that's what
really
he's doing.
hoping he'd make a showing in the Jon Snow TV show, but then that got canceled. So
Right.
Oh,
Yep.
that would have been cool. And
Yeah,
then
the
they'd have
three things I
an
wanted-
understanding. Hmm.
the three things I wanted from after Game of Thrones were I wanted something to go way back in history, not just a couple of years with this whole House of the Dragon thing. I wanted to go back even further, like to Valeria, old Valeria. That'd be,
Oh yeah, I would have liked to see
fantastic.
that. Yeah.
I wanted to have a Jon Snow follow up, which just got canceled, and I wanted to have an Arya Stark follow up, which never even got talked about.
Is it still being talked about?
The Jon Snow is
or
still
if,
the Jon Snow package is written. It's just the timing hasn't worked out, so they've basically canceled it because they're tired of delaying it. And then the Arya Stark thing was never even mentioned. But she had like the greatest potential for adventure because she was sailing off to the new world.
Yeah, that's
well,
true.
and just her character arc is like so exciting. Like,
I can't forget
she would be like a great person to be. I'm like, please, I would like to watch the next decade of Arya's life.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't forget about the dire wolves.
Sorry.
The dire wolves are also very, very important.
Very
They
important.
started dying in the
Ghost.
first season though. Like that was
That
heartache
was
right off the
that was
right off
wrong.
the bat.
I was so mad. I mean, I'm sorry if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, but
It's
you know,
been like years.
I go back to the moment
Someone will
when
be mad at us. That's
the
just way it goes.
patriarch of it all, Ned, went away. I was like, what is this show? He's the hero. Isn't he supposed to stay on this show? What happened?
He dies in everything he's in though. So
I know. I knew that afterwards. I kind of clicked, but I was like, why did this happen? I literally was so confused about this show. Like, what is happening? Why did this man leave?
The episode, The Red Wedding. Which anybody who's seen it knows what I'm talking about. I was in New York, just like visiting friends, but you know, the episode was, you know, on Sunday or whatever. And, you know, so I'm back at my Airbnb. I've got my iPad. And my cousin was staying with me, you know, and I was like, I gotta watch this, and she's like, I don't watch that show, so that's all you. So she's like, you know, up in the loft, you know, and I'm watching it, and but she can hear the audio kind of, you know, and it was late, you know, and I'm like, wah, rah, rah, you know, and she like she gets up and like looks down at me, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, no, I am not. Oh my gosh. But I can't explain this to you because you haven't watched the show. It won't make any sense. You know? And she was like, okay.
Just know that 3/4 of the characters I cared about in the show just died.
Yeah.
Right. And then I get on Twitter and it's just like, you know, everything's just like, no, WTF, crazy, bomb emoji. And, you know, so I was like, okay, I'm not alone. All right.
No, you're
that
not
was a
alone.
big deal.
So that's when I missed the water cooler, right? Like that was such a water cooler show.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
oh my
Even
God.
though, you know, eventually.
Well, even then you had people at the water cooler going, oh my God, did you see the Red Wedding? And then off to the side, you had the people over at the coffee machine that were like, I read the books.
I know.
Y'all are new novices.
Which is also another crazy thing about it is that all the people who read the books, like, could have spoiled it so badly,
and no one did.
You could have known exactly what was going to happen on that episode. I mean, I didn't go looking for it, but same. I also didn't like try to stay away. I was just like, oh, I don't know, someone's getting married. Yeah, not the
someone's
case.
getting married. You don't like weddings and Game of Thrones like this.
What, the red wedding, the purple wedding? I mean, come on.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Weddings in general, bad idea.
I think the purple wedding was designed to give us relief from our grief from the red wedding.
Wait, which was the purple wedding? Wait,
Joffrey.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
tell Cersei. I'm honored to know it was me.
Yeah.
Oh, Cersei. There was some moments where I was like, damn, girl, what did you just do? You know, but then there were most of the moments I was like, she has got to go. Yeah. She is got to go.
Yeah, I was never Team Lannister, although, well,
Jamie at the end. At the end, Jamie
at the end. Yeah, I mean, he did what he could. Yeah, and
I felt like he got redeemed to an extent. You know,
to an extent.
No.
To an extent. I didn't say overall. He still did some awful things, but at the end, he was trying. That at least he was trying.
He was trying until his sister had a full on breakdown. He flipped right over and wanted to comfort her, and I was like, this is just a cycle of abuse. He's still just a victim of the cycle of abuse, and he didn't have a choice in the whole thing. He was just riding the train, and this is where the next stop is. So, yeah, it was just how it was. I was always Team Arya from the very get go. From the first episode, I was Team Arya.
Yeah. No, she's great. She's great.
So, and when she didn't end up queen of the entire 7 kingdoms or 6 kingdoms
didn't
plus
wanna
1 or
be it,
whatever,
though.
I
She
was
didn't
like,
need it.
She didn't. That's not her.
Oh, I
That's not
know.
the life for her.
Different.
Yeah.
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 Different Stark.
her going off to the west was ideal, but it was like from the very beginning, that's what I wanted. I wanted her to be on the throne at the end of this, and then she was like, Psh, "Throne? I got a whole world to conquer. You can have your throne."
Yeah. He's out.
Yeah.
Queen of the North.
Yeah,
fun with
she
that.
was the ninja. Yeah,
She really was, yeah. And I mean, the Starks pretty much like the most of the Starks had their, had their day. Meaning, like the children, I should say, had
Sure.
their,
Yeah.
most of them survived. I guess is what I'm trying to say. A few of them didn't, but they were pretty much mostly on the right side of history and made it. But
that show, it's so, I don't know, sort of freshly over that I hadn't thought about watching it from the beginning again. But when you were talking about Ned, I'm like, yeah, I mean, season 1, I probably don't remember really a ton of details from that whole season, except kind of the takeaways.
Yeah.
Oh, let's establish who's who, and
it's
allegiances.
great.
That would be a good rewatch.
Yeah, I did rewatch it when I think season 6 was on, and I got a lot out of it. Meaning that it helped me remember, but it just also reminded me how great of a show, especially those early seasons were. So, I just thought it was so well done. It as season 6 was going, I was like, what happened? Oh yeah, this, that, and the other, and how young they looked, helped me prep for the finale, I think. But it's just such a good show that I feel
It's
like
such a good show.
a rewatch,
and
you see things that you didn't see before.
the cousin that I was with when I watched the Red Wedding at our little pied a terre in New York, she was, she's like, I don't watch it. Like, what? Why are you screaming? And I was like, that just, I don't know. I can't explain it to you. And she was like, yeah. I'm like, why don't you don't want to watch this? Like, are you just not into kind of fantasy type content? And she was like, no, it's because I heard that like horses die. And I was like,
horses
happen.
Yes, but those aren't the
does.
animals that you're going to be attached to.
No, but like if you're looking for something that's like rainbows and unicorns, not happening here. You're gonna lose a lot of people and a lot of people in the animal kingdom overall.
Yes.
And it's not like cool and fun. It's it's part of the journey. But she eventually, many years later, hi Molly, if you're listening, she got married and her husband wanted to watch the show, and so she watched it and was caught up by the time the series ended. I was like, are you still upset about the horses? And she was like, yes, I am. I'm really upset about the horses, but really good show.
The horses.
I can't resist the urge to say that if you are wanting to do a rewatch of Game of Thrones from the very beginning, there is this great podcast called Let's Talk About Thrones.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
The key on it is that one of us has watched it. That would be me. One of us has watched it a few times and read the books. That would be Jenny Josephson. And one of us has not watched it at all. This is their first viewing, period, end of story. And that would be Richard Gunther. All three of us are podcasters, and all three of us had a great time with this show. And we started rewatching after the 7th season, so before the 8th season came out. And you get to experience all of it with us. And it's all right there. Let's talk about thrones.com.
Fun.
Well, that is fun. That is so fun. I joined you guys once.
You did.
It was a really good time. Gosh, what year was that? What season was that? I guess is the better question.
Probably.
I know where I
later season,
lived.
6 or 7.
So it was probably 2019, 2018 or 2019, 2019, I think. So whatever season that was. Anyway, well, this has been great fun. I've got to turn on another couple fans. This house is getting hot as heck.
Episode 40
Episode 40.
for season 8, episode 6.
Oh, that's what you
was-
are on.
The last episode.
Which was in 2019.
Sure, that's not readily available to me right now. Yeah, Sunday, May 26, 2019. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember not this office. This is a different apartment, but I remember where I was, and I was like so into it, and yeah. That's where I lived at the time, so would have been 2019. Okay, well, you know what? This was great fun. Thanks to all for being with us. All of you who watch and listen live, kudos to you. Tell a friend, tell them about this show if you enjoy it, and we'll do it all again next week. And
Bye,
Eileen,
everybody.
say hi to
Yeah.
Seven, the good dog.
I will. Sometimes he's not good, but he's
Yeah.
learning.
He'll be good.
He'll get.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll be good.
Yeah.
He'll be good.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right,
Bye.
bye.